Alright, hey guys, it's TJ and welcome back to another video. So, I want to say I'm sorry for not having very many streams recently, but it's been a crazy couple of days. Like, really crazy. And that's what this story video is about. It was just, holy crap. Like, by the end of this birthday, I was shaking. It was bad. Like, no joke, there was a car crash involved, and that wasn't even the only thing that happened. It just sit down, take a deep breath, and prepare for, maybe get some popcorn, get a family member, find your favorite blanket, pillow, relax, sit back, and enjoy. So it all started a couple of days ago when I got a phone call, and this phone call would change my life. I'm just sitting there, I had just gotten out of the shower, I'm drying off, and my phone starts buzzing. And I look at it, and I swipe, and I answer, and I'm like, hello? And it's silent, dead silent for like 10 seconds. And then you just hear, 7 days. And then they hung up. Okay, none of that happened. Okay, anyway. So I answer the phone. Hi, Mom, I say, because it was my mom. There was no 7 days involved. None of the, no. And she's like, hey, so, you know how it's your grandma's birthday? And I was like, yeah. She was like, do you want to go to lunch with her? And I was like, sure. And that one word, the sure, changed the rest of the day. The day would have been pretty dang uneventful, I think. Like, it probably would have been pretty uneventful, pretty boring. I probably would have just, played some games, streamed a little bit. But no, I agreed to go on this lunch, and that just started this whole chain of events that just crazy. It was crazy. So I'm like, sure. So I get dressed, do my hair, all that stuff. We're at this cool little sushi restaurant, I didn't really eat that much. I got some noodle. No one cares. I'm gonna just move on. Anyway, so fast forward, we're eating, we're talking, and my mom was like, so you have any fun plans for your birthday, Mom? And her mom, which is my grandma, was like, oh, kind of. I'm going mini golfing with some other members of our family, like my aunt and my cousins. Luke was one of them, you've probably heard of him in my streams here and there. So yeah, and she was like, yeah, Tim, you can go if you want. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And that sure also just changed the rest of the day. It could have been a nice simple lunch and a nice simple day, but no, I had to go to miniature golfing with her. Which, don't get me wrong, it was fun, but it's just, holy crap. And so we finish up eating. I'm like, okay, bye, Mom, I'm gonna get my grandma's car now. So I get in grandma's car. We start driving away. There was like an hour in between when we finished eating and miniature golf. So we're just driving to our house. We're gonna chill there for a bit. And boy, oh boy, was it awkward. It was so awkward. Ugh. It still makes me cringe, and it happened days ago. She's over in the kitchen on her phone. I'm just like sitting on her couch on my phone, just like texting and like looking at Twitter and responding to comments. Like, I'm just like, it's just real. It's dead silent. It's awkward. And as it went on, it got less awkward because we started talking about trivia crack. She's like a trivia crack addict. Like, it's hilarious. She was like giving me tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. It was crazy. She like got like an almost perfect score. She's like has all these like cool perks and stuff. It was just, she's a trivia crack god, guys. Holy crap. So finally, after like an hour of a little bit of awkwardness, we decided to head out, and it was pretty uneventful. We got lost. That was it. I mean, it's a little crazy, but nothing bad. It was only like a 5-minute detour. We get there. I do absolutely amazing in miniature golf, guys. Like, I'm using the wrong end, like the handle part, the part you're supposed to hold. I was just hitting it with that. I got a hole-in-one almost every single time. My final score was like -20 or something crazy. Just kidding. It was probably in the hundreds. It was bad. My cousin, who's like 9-ish, she did better than me. Everyone did. My grandma did better than me. I never said I was a golfer, guys. Right? Anyway, moving on from that. So then we finish up there, loads of fun, and my aunt was like, hey, do you guys want to come over for, like a birthday dinner over at our house? And we were like, sure. We're on our way out, my grandma like stops, freezes, dead. And she's just looking around. I'm like, what is it? Are you having a stroke? Heart attack? What's going on? And she just falls over, dead. She'd been poisoned, guys. Just kidding. She couldn't find her phone. So she's like, I think I lost my phone. Like, someone took my phone. Ah. She's like panicking. I'm like, listen, calm down. I never saw you leave with your phone, so it's probably just still at home. Let's go back to your house, look around there, and we'll see. She's like, okay, let's do that. So before we head out to lunch, we go back to her house. And this is where things get crazy. So we get to her house. It's not too far away. She was like, hey, Tim, while I find my phone, will you water my plants? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? She was like, yeah, the hose is right there. Those are the plants. They look like they're about to die. Help me out. I was like, I got you. And what happened while I was watering these plants should have just been a bad omen for the rest of the day. Like, I should have known things were off once this happened. So I go over, I'm unrolling the hose, I turn the little nozzle, and you can hear water, but nothing's coming out, so I'm really confused. So I up the pressure, and nothing's coming out still. I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's something that's stopping it from coming out. So I go over to the end of the hose, and sure enough, there's like one of those handle things. You just need to squeeze it for the water to come out. And I squeeze it, and no water comes out. because it's all freaking leaking out all over my leg. You got the handle up here, the hose goes down, there's like a hole, like 3 holes in the hose. So the water's just like flying because I upped the pressure. And so because I upped the pressure, water's just flying out of this hose. I'm like aiming at these plants. I'm like, okay, ready to go to get these plants, and I squeeze and the water just flies down at my foot. So my leg is like drenched. Like it's bad. It's just completely drenched. Water's flying everywhere. I can't stop it. So I like water the plants. Like I'm like trying to direct the flow at the plant so I at least get the plants watered. It's splashing all over me. I'm drenching wet. So then I'm like, okay, I need to turn this off. So I set it down. And when I set it down, of course, it's still just spewing water everywhere. So I'm like trying to turn down the pressure, and it's just, oh, it was bad. It was bad. So my grandma comes out and she's like, oh, what happened? You know, she thinks I'm just gonna be out there like watering the plants all peacefully, but no, she comes out and I'm like drenched, I'm all wet, and I'm just like, like it's bad. And she thought it was the funniest thing. Once I explained what happened, she could not stop laughing. Like, I thought it was funny, I chuckled a little bit, but she was dying. Like, she was out of breath just thinking it was the funniest thing that I'm soaking wet just so I could water her plants. And she just thought it was hilarious, and I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I get in the car, I'm sitting down, my feet are all wet, I'm just like, it's very uncomfortable, but I'm rolling with it, it's fine. And you know, that should have clicked in my brain. I should have been like, man, something's going wrong today, because boy did it. And keep in mind, guys, I know that's pretty lame. It just keeps spiraling out of control. It just gets worse from here. So we're on our way there, and it's a really far drive from her house to their house. I don't know. I'm really bad with directions. So anyway, she gets a phone call. You know, it's no big deal. We're just driving, and it's like dead rush hour by this time. It's like 5 o'clock. It's stop and go traffic. It's bad. And you know, she's just on the phone, and then while she's talking, the guy stops mid-sentence, and you just hear like, I know that looked weird, but that's the best way you can interpret the sound, okay? It took me a long time to figure out how to make that sound, and that's pretty much exactly what it sounded like. So she's on the phone, and you hear that, and I'm thinking he dropped his phone, or, you know, yeah, I thought he dropped his phone or something, and she was like, what was that? Hello? And it's just dead silent, and I'm like, oh my, what? What? It's dead silent for like 10-15 seconds, the long 10 or 15 seconds of my life, because there's just a noise, and the guy stops talking, like, did he just get shot? Did he die? What just happened? And then you hear, Karen, I've been in an accident. Call Paul. And guys, he sounded so bad. He was like, I've been in an accident. Like, it wasn't just like, oh my gosh, I've been in an accident. Like, come help. So he sounded in a lot of pain. It was bad. I was scared. And so then my grandma instantly just like freak out mode. She was like, oh my god, oh my god. And I was like, ah! Like, I was freaking out too. We're both just panicking. And she's like, are you okay? He's like, I'm hurting. Call Paul. And she was like, okay, what's his number? So then I whip out my phone and I'm like trying to record it, and so I'm like trying to take down the numbers, and then she like looked at it and was like, no, wrong number, it's this. So then I was like shaking, right? So I can't press the right numbers. I'm panicking. I have to call the guy's husband, the guy that just got in a wreck. I have to call his husband. I'm like, yo. I was like, yeah, okay, so your husband, he was on the road and he kind of crashed, so you might want to get down there and make sure he's okay. So then both of them hang up, and then we're just kind of in the car like dead silent. I'm like, my heart's going, her heart's going, we're trying to drive, we're both shooken up, and there's nothing we can do because we're in rush hour. It's not like we can like, it's not like you can like pull out and just, you know, take a break, pull into a parking lot. No, we're in stop and go traffic, and we're just like, oh my gosh, is he okay? Because at this point we don't know. Like, he hung up because he had to call his husband. So we're like, is he okay? Like, is he alive? How bad is it? Did he like, how bad is it? We don't know. All we know is that he got not only in a car wreck, but on the highway. Like, he was on the highway, guys. That's high speed wreck. But we don't know what's going on. Not only that, but then something else happens that gets like my heart going even faster. You know, meanwhile, I'm texting my girlfriend, you know, like throughout the day. And so I'm just making conversation. I was like, what's up? Like, what are you doing? And then this answer was so cryptic that it gave me the worst anxiety. Keep in mind, I'm already panicking. My brain's already going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm already like freaking out. I think someone just got in an accident. I don't know what just happened. And so I open up her message and it says, oh no, I need to explain something, but I don't want to. I was like, what? What just happened? Because before this, she hadn't answered for like 30 minutes, which is okay, like, I understood. I'm like, what do you need to explain? Like, it sounded so bad. She was like, I need to explain something, but I really don't want to. And so I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna say something crazy like, I just spent the last hour with my other boyfriend, like, you've been replaced, bud. Or like, I'm like panicking, I'm like, ah! It's bad. So my heart is already pounding because I just heard a car accident that I don't know how bad it is, but I know it was on the highway, so it must have been pretty bad. My heart's already pounding. You know, we don't know where the accident was or anything like that, but we just know he got in an accident and he sounded in a lot of pain. And then you got my girlfriend over here saying something like that. I'm like panicking, like, what? I was like, what? Explain please. Like, I was panicking. It was not good. So luckily it turns out that that's all okay. Like the way she started out made me panic, like just, you know, how cryptic it was and like what does she need to explain, what? So I'm like panicking, but turns out I was completely overthinking it, and this whole situation was fine. So that, you know, that takes a load off the chest, but still my adrenaline's rushing, my heart's beating, I'm like panicking. So that was like a big load off the chest. Like that was like, oh my gosh. But you still got the whole car crash situation that's just so bad. Like it was, whew. So I'm still panicking, like everything is just so intense. I'm like, oh my god, like what? So me and my grandma are both just so shooken up, like we don't know what to say. We're just sitting in the car like, like it's just not good. So then we get a call. No way, they just started vacuuming in the middle of my video. Ah! So we drive for more, and it's like a really like silent drive, not because it's like awkward, but just because we're so like in shock. Like we're both like, what the heck is going on? And so finally she's like, okay, I'm gonna call Paul. So she called Paul, and she's like, hey, like, is Tom okay? Like, is everything okay? What's going on? Turns out everything's okay. Paul, how's Tom? Like, is he doing okay? Is he okay? And then it's like silent for a bit. It was really tense. Like, it was a really tense moment. He was like, yeah, he's okay. Like, he's a little shaken up, but he'll be alright. And me and my grandma both were just like, oh. Like, keep in mind, I've never met either one of these people, but I was so freaking, like, I was still so nervous. I've never met either one of them. Like, I don't even know him. But just the fact that, like, I heard a car crash. Anyway, it was really nerve-wracking. Turns out he was okay. Basically what happened was he was on the road, he was on a highway, and because of stop and go traffic, he was just stopped there. But someone behind him was like texting or calling, I forgot which, and was going normal highway speed, so that's like 65, 70 miles an hour, and just slammed into the back of Tom. So then Tom's car goes flying forward and hits the car in front of him. So not only was he like, bah, but then he was like, bah, and it was just lots of whiplash, and the car is like beat up too. I got pictures of it, and whoa. So anyway, we finally arrive at my aunt's house for the dinner, and we're like explaining the whole situation to it, and they just don't care. It was like, what? So we're like, oh my gosh, do we have a drive to tell you? Holy crap. And we're like telling them the same story I just told you, and they're like, wow, crazy. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like, it didn't hit them like it hit us. Like, they were just like, well, it's not like you were in the accident, it's not that big of a deal. And I was like, what? So we're like just ranting and raving and like just explaining how crazy the story is, and they're like, cool, wow. Hopefully that's not what you guys are like to this story, because this story was like intense, like holy crap. So in the end, everything was okay. I was still shaking by the time I got there. Like it was bad. Like even while we were eating, I was shaking, but then we just had some nice conversation. We were just talking. It was a good time had by all. Kind of took our minds off it. Everything was okay in the end. Like everything had been resolved, everything made sense. It was all okay. So it did end on a good note, but oh my gosh, was that an intense birthday. My poor grandma. Holy crap. But yeah, luckily everything ended okay. It was crazy. It was like, what the heck? So I ended up getting home at like 8 o'clock when it should have just been a regular old lunch with my grandma. But it just ended crazily. So anyway, I know that was a longer video, but there was just so much jam-packed into that one day that I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. I really love making these story videos, and I wish my life was more interesting so I could make them more often. But it is what it is. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have an awesome day. I hope you're dabbing on your haters. And I'll see you later.
It's delicious.